For the 7th straight year, we will see a new champion in the NBA. Pag-uusapan natin yan sa panibagong episode, Episode 9, dito sa Pinoy Step Podcast.
From buzzer beaters to blockbuster trades, this is your front row seat to the NBA.
Here at Pinoy Step Podcast, we go deep into every play, every move, and the insider stories you won't hear anywhere else.
All the highlights, all the hot takes, walang mintis. This is the Pinoy Step Podcast, powered by the Arena Plus Sportsbook. Sama-sama sa Arena. Support your team by watching and playing at arenaplus.ph. Dito ang home court ng tunay na Pinoy fans.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 9 of the Pinoy Step Podcast. My name is Anton Rojas and today I am going to pull off a Christian Luanzon wherein I will do the episode in shades but not for the same reason dahil si Christian nag-shade siya nung isang episode dahil meron siyang migraine. Ako naman, I stayed up for Game 7 of the matchup between Denver and OKC. So wala pa po akong tulog. I look sleepy. So I had to put the shades on. Of course, pag-uusapan natin yan dito sa ating episode ngayon. Let's welcome back to the program, Mr. Migs Gomez.
What up, Anton?
Brother.
First of all, I love the dedication to the Pinoy Step Podcast. Staying up to watch Game 7, the two most beautiful things, two most beautiful words in playoff basketball. So I'm happy for what you did. I'm just sorry for you kasi nga, yung prediction niya po ay hindi nagkatotoo.
I can't believe I stayed up for a beatdown, but you know, we have to give props where it's due. Congratulations to Mr. Migs Gomez because we gave our predictions here on the show at si Migs na lang. Yung pick niya, yun na lang ang nag-iisang pick na buhay at may chance pa na mag-champion. Migs chose OKC, made the prediction, and only team standing in his way in the West, Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
But Migs, brother, we have a very special guest today for the second time here in the Pinoy Step Podcast. Meron tayong makakasama. Grabe yung pinagdaanan nitong kaibigan natin na to.
Ako pa bang introduce?
Yeah, parehas kayong maroon di ba?
Well, this is my long-lost brother. In some ways, we actually have quite the same last name. And I'm very proud to say, nakababata ko to.
Okay.
So he's not just a guy that we covered in the UAAP. You covered him in the PBA. We're very proud of him for his achievements, not only here in the Philippines, but also in the international waters. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Javi Gomez de Leano. Yes, sir!
Hello everyone, good morning. Good morning, Migs.
Good to see you,
brother.
Thanks for having me guys on the podcast. Appreciate it.
So ano muna tayo? Update muna tayo kay Javi.
Kamustahan muna tayo. Alright, Javi. We all know you during your days with the University of the Philippines. And then of course, naglaro ka rin sa Japan. You played in the PBA. And then recently in Korea. So what is the status with regards to your career right now? Ano ba ang pinagkakaabalahan mo ngayon?
Yeah, so my season just ended with the KBL. So I'm currently a free agent. So right now, just having a lot of time like to join you guys on the podcast, to do other things aside from basketball at the moment. But at the same time, you know, I'm just keeping in shape while waiting for the next offer.
Kung meron pala tayong episode sa free agency ng NBA, bagay si Javi as guest. The mindset of a free agent.
Yeah. No, but kamusta naman ang buhay ng isang, you call yourself an overseas hooper. Is that something you see yourself continuing doing? Your brother is doing it as well.
Well, yes, you know, it's been a dream of mine and my brother ever since we were young. But I would say like I was really influenced by one because he was the one like telling me like since college that we should chase that overseas dreams. Because to be honest, that time I was still 50-50 about it. But he was the first one who got signed in Japan. Then when I got that offer, you know, he kind of influenced me to try it out. So luckily, you know, I enjoyed the life being.
Maganda naman talaga sa Japan.
Yes, blessed to play in Japan and Korea. But although, you know, it's not all sunshine and butterflies. Of course, there are sacrifices that comes with it.
Lalo na ang laki ng pamilya nito dito sa Pilipinas si Javi. I'm sure he missed his family from time to time. But, you know, Anton, if there's something that I really valued about knowing the Gomez de Leaños, normally kasi para sa isang Pinoy, ang pangarap ay makatapak at makapaglaro sa NBA. But when they were young, I actually heard a different dream. And confirm this for me, if this is true or not. But it's your brother's dream, si Juan. I remember na ang pangarap niya nun was to actually play in the EuroLeague. It wasn't the NBA. It was for Real Madrid. Tama o hindi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because, our family actually is from Spain. So growing up in talaga yung, like, we would pass by the stadium. So that's how we saw it live. So we always wanted to play in Europe, like when we were younger. So although si Juan already played in Lithuania.
Yeah.
Actually, that's still one of my bucket lists. Like, if ever I do get an opportunity to play, I'd really like to play in Spain. Just to fulfill that dream of ours.
That's a good thing kasi it makes us think na hindi lang NBA yung option eh. At na-open up pa nga yung idea ngayon na pwede ka mag-Japan, pwede ka mag-Korea. Why not? Maybe more Filipinos in Europe.
Yeah, that's definitely something we look forward to, the next step in the basketball career of Javi Gomez de Leaño. Pero sa ngayon, usapang NBA muna tayo dito sa Pinoy Step Podcast. We're gonna pick your brain, Javi, with regards to what has been happening in the NBA playoffs. At para sa episode na to, we're going to do a recap of the second round as well as a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals and the Western Conference Finals. But before that, we will get to our fast break.
Quick break from the conversation. But if you're really into sports like us, level up na ang suporta. Punta na sa arenaplus.ph and back your team habang live ang game. Mas solid pag sama-sama tayong sumusuporta. Visit now at arenaplus.ph. Basketball is more than just the game. It's the culture, the players, and the stories behind every shot.
Anong pakiramdam na maglaro sa finals?
Paano nga ba talaga ang buhay ng isang pro player?
At anong mga kalokohan ang nangyayari sa dugout?
Lahat yan at marami pang iba pag-uusapan natin dito sa Basketboleros.
Kung mahal mo ang laro, mas lalo mong mamahalin ang podcast na to. Hosted by Ranidel de Ocampo and GB Labrador. Powered by the Arena Plus Sportsbook. Sama-sama sa arena.
Let's get to our fast break where we talk about the latest headlines going around the NBA. And sadly for Mr. Jordan Bartlett, who predicted that Golden State would advance to the finals.
Can't blame him though.
I can't blame him. Maraming nangyari na hindi maganda, injuries, and that derailed a lot of the championship aspirations of various teams in the NBA playoffs. Stephen Curry, during his exit interview, sinabi niya he wants this ride to last for as long as it can. Kasi nga, sinabi nga niya, and Draymond Green as well, they are in their last legs, last opportunity to win a championship. 37 na si Curry, Draymond Green is 35, Jimmy Butler is also 35 years old. Let's ask Javi, do you think that the window for Steph to win another championship number 5, has closed? Or do you think they can still do something to give him another legit title run?
Yeah, I think they can still do something, I think they're just one piece away from being like a championship contenders again. And like I think personally, like they need a legitimate big man. That's always been their problems. Like, against Timberwolves, Timberwolves really heavy with their 3 bigs. They got Gobert, Reed, Randall, and I guess teams are kind of finding ways to expose that small ball lineups of the Warriors. But at the same time, like I guess Curry was injured this last semifinal, so it really affected the results.
I gotta say, I love that take kasi nagpaka-analyst agad si Javi. No? Sabi ko sa kanya dito, guess
Hindi ba nagko-commentator si Javi sa UAP?
Di ba, diba?
No.
Oh, that's an idea.
Maybe
That's
in
an
the
idea.
future. But I was about to say the same thing kasi they have a trade piece potentially in Jonathan Kuminga. They can sign and trade him.
Yes.
So with him, having a bit of value, he played relatively well. Nung nawala si Curry, he performed, okay, got his stats up. So tingnan natin kung medyo may value yon in the offseason. We can't expect too much though. Maybe a mid-big. I'm seeing posts out there na Jonas Valanciunas, Steven Adams, yung mga ganyan, a serviceable big, for Golden State. Maybe that can work. After all, you already have your core three. And the time is really now. Kasi there's no way, if you're Golden State, there's no way of thinking that letting Steph Curry go is an option. Diba? Why would you let go a franchise player like that, the face of your team, at the same time, he already has great ties with the community. So, I'm totally with Javi here. I think the window is still open.
So, si Kevon Looney ba? Ano ba ang pinagkaiba ni Kevon Looney sa serviceable big?
Well, Kevon is not as tall.
Okay.
He's I think he's what, 6'9"? 6'9".
So, kailangan ng 7-footer, ganon.
That's gonna help. That's
Okay.
gonna help the Warriors. Quentin Post is, I think, 6'11", mga ganon. So, those inches, that's gonna help. Lalo na hindi naman sobrang athletic si Kevon Looney. Although he has a good eye for rebounds.
Okay.
Diba? Ang sipag nun, magaling siya magbasa on how, or on where the ball will go. But, I don't know. I think Steve Kerr not playing him as much is already an indication that he's not gonna be that guy for them.
Alam nyo, kasalanan kasi to ni Draymond Green eh. I'm gonna point the finger here. Draymond Green, sinuntok mo si Jordan Poole. Si Jordan Poole dapat yung naglalaro ngayon sa playoffs against Minnesota, doing what Steph Curry was doing, kinda.
Yeah.
But he's no longer with the team because of what you did. And then, Jonathan Kuminga, nagkaroon ng tampuhan kasi binangko ni Steve Kerr. Kuminga, all of a sudden had playing time, 24.3 points per game in the last 4 games when Stephen Curry went down. These two guys were part of the future of Golden State. They were supposed to be the continuity. Kaya lang, Bob Myers left dahil nakita niya, nako, hindi na matutuloy yung mga plano ko.
Yeah.
This was Bob Myers' master plan for the Warriors to continue their success. But unfortunately, those things happened and ayan, yung Warriors medyo tagilid na ngayon with the age of Butler, Curry, and Draymond Green.
I do have a concern though with Jonathan Kuminga. Kasi si Kuminga can perform. You can see it, diba? The way he plays, he's athletic, he's talented, he can score. But I'm not sure if he's a winning player. I'm not sure if he's that guy who can, be good enough, be matured enough to actually propel a team onto a championship. And a comparison to me is Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma, yes, with the Lakers, he won a championship. But that was behind LeBron, behind AD, and sorry to say, but also behind Rajon Rondo. He actually rode the wave with that Lakers team. That's why when he was given big responsibility with the Wizards, look what happened. He was just a scorer in a bad team. What happened with the Bucks? Nawala si Damian Lillard, na-injure siya. Was he the second option? No, he was not. So that's my worry about Jonathan Kuminga. And maybe that's why Steve Kerr also hasn't been using him. Maybe he's not ready for the big moment.
Yeah, 22 years old, maturity still not there, but we're gonna talk about Kuminga in just a bit. Pero lumipat muna tayo, pag-usapan natin itong balita regarding the Phoenix Suns. So, for the 4th time in 7 months, the Phoenix Suns are being sued. But these are just among a litany of problems that this franchise has, Migs.
Well, I actually want to volunteer my friend here for this one because apparently one of his favorite teams is the Phoenix Suns. But we don't have to talk about the issue here, Javi. Okay, hindi natin kailangan pag-usapan yung internal issue na yan. I want to know your thoughts about the Suns as a basketball team this year because, of course, they were a disappointment in this season.
Yeah, I think one problem they had was also lack of bench depth.
Okay.
I think it was a good move. They moved Bradley Beal to the bench just so that their bench points could go up. But
It wasn't like he's playing like a star, diba? In the starting unit.
That's right. And at first, like, they didn't have a true point. Like when Devin Booker was playing point, it kind of affected his season. That's why a lot of fans were like upset with him because they think his performance went down compared to the past years. Like, Bol still there, right? Like,
Yeah.
I kind of like Bol. I felt like he should have been
Sa
used
2K,
more.
paborito ko rin yun eh.
Yeah.
Si Bol.
Cheat code.
Pero hanggang doon na lang siya eh.
Yeah, and
So
You
what do you
know,
think of him? What do you think of him being a part of this roster of the Suns? Do you
fly
think Bol
swatter.
has that potential to become a star for them or a big time player?
yeah, definitely. I think he showed some shades when he was playing for the Magics before he got traded, and he's always had that potential. I guess it just boils down to him being in the right coach, knowing how to use him.
The right coach, Anton. See, that's a good point because they just fired their second champion coach
Oh my
in
God.
the past couple of years. So, Mike Budenholzer, who's the coach of the Lakers? Champion
Frank
sila?
Vogel.
Frank Vogel, diba? One season and he's done. I've actually heard some analysts in the US saying that the front office could be the problem here.
James Jones.
Matt Ishbia,
Yeah, the owner.
the billionaire owner. So, Matt Ishbia, he buys the team midway through the 2022-23 season. So, he's had 2 full seasons as the owner, majority owner of the Phoenix Suns. So, I looked up his background. He's actually legit. He was part of the Michigan State Spartans, NCAA champion. So he can play. He's a point guard. Naging teammate niya si Mo Peterson. Remember that guy?
Wow.
Lefty from Toronto, played with Vince Carter.
Yeah, the wild three-pointer nung binato sa area
And
bola.
he was also teammates with Jason Richardson,
Okay.
2-time slam dunk champion. So he knows his basketball. But I think he got caught in a situation where he was still living in the Big 3 era. Kasi sa panahon ngayon, hindi na gumagana yung Big 3 eh. I mean, yung OKC ba? Ngayon, I think they could be like the new blueprint for success.
Yeah.
They don't have a Big 3. It's like a deep bench with guys who are just dogs and hungry and play defense and are young and can run the break. So I think yun ang naging problema ng Phoenix Suns. You're right, you brought up the management, and Matt Ishbia's vision para sa akin is already obsolete. Especially he picked two wrong guys to pair with Devin Booker. Kasi Devin Booker is still entering his prime. He's 28. KD though, although he's KD, he's 36. And then Bradley Beal, 31 years old. Kaya lang, he does not fit with Devin Booker kasi pareha sila ng posisyon eh.
Na sila scorer eh.
Oh.
If you ask me, Devin Booker needs a point guard like Chris Paul.
Yeah, I was scratching my head when they got Bradley Beal. I was like, for what?
Yeah. they're the most screwed team with that $50 million contract with no trade clause for Bradley Beal. And if you ask me, yes, he needs a point guard talking about Devin Booker. The other thing that he needs is a good big man. Diba? Parang DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, it went downhill, no? Nung na-trade si DeAndre Ayton. What do you think about that? When DeAndre Ayton, kasi nag-away sila ni, di ba? Ni Monty Williams.
Yeah, that time I think DeAndre wanted to have more touches. So when DeAndre got traded, like I was hoping Suns would get someone who can do what he's doing, but obviously I think Plumlee and although I think Nick Richards will
Potential yun.
Potential, yes. I'm good with that trade, but going back to Bradley Beal, when I first saw the news, I saw from the get-go, this team's not going anywhere.
Wait, why do you like the Suns though? What's the history there? Ever since you were a kid, Suns na ba yung team
Steve
mo?
Nash era Suns.
No. Well, the GOAT may be LeBron or Jordan, but I grew up watching KD. I think he's my GOAT.
Sinundan niya si KD.
Okay.
And then also Booker na rin. I became a fan ever since when he was in Phoenix. I liked his playing style.
So you also like the Brooklyn KD?
Yeah, wherever he
Parang
is.
si Anton.
Yeah, dati Blake Griffin. Ngayon, LaMelo Ball. Na sinasabi nila baka mag-Clippers. Kaya lang, mag-aaway sila sa number 1 eh. Alam mo naman si LaMelo, he doesn't want to wear any other jersey aside from number 1. Anyway, anything you want to say before we move on from the Suns topic, since Suns are your team? What do they gotta do to fix it?
I got one later. Sige, ikaw muna.
Yeah, they need I'm not sure if Tyus Jones can be that guy to take them all the way to the finals as their starting point guard.
Yeah.
And they need a better big man. I hope like may not be like a star player, but at least like a serviceable big man that can be like the third option for their team.
Well, if they can develop Nick Richards to that, okay, malaking bagay
Yes,
yun.
that's right.
Tyus Jones is gonna be a free agent. So, wild
Right.
card yan kung babalik sa Phoenix or not. I'm not sure if he has good value to return to Phoenix, especially with their history. But Phoenix is the third worst defensive team
Oh my God.
in the NBA. So, defense is what they need. Yun ang kailangan nila. With Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal as their stars, they need somebody to become that yung emotional, yung talagang passionate defender to steer them on that side of the floor. So let's see if they can find somebody who's cheap in the offseason for that.
There's just no way they're gonna run and play defense and force turnovers like OKC.
Yeah.
But that's what we're gonna talk about later on. Eto, bumalik tayo kay Jonathan Kuminga. They value Kuminga, talking about the Warriors, but it's a two-way street. Again, they're in that situation where do they keep him or do they let him go? Because the relationship is already stained.
Ako, if they can find somebody to trade him for, I do that trade. Kasi feeling ko, wala na eh. Masyado nang ruined yung relationship na yun. It's like staying with a girlfriend or a boyfriend at alam mo na may trust issues na kayo.
Parehas tayo
Mahirap na yun.
naiisip. Sinabi ko yan kay Christian last
Diba?
week.
Yun na yun eh. Abby, ikaw. Ano man sabi mo kay Jonathan Kuminga?
Yeah, I agree with you, Migs. Like, if they can find a perfect trade value for Kuminga, I think they should do it immediately. But then, if they do decide to keep him, I think this is just me. I think it's time for Draymond Green to come off the bench
Oh,
that's
a big take.
to give more leeway for Kuminga to really show his true game. Although I think they can play together at the 3 and 4, but you know how Warriors is, like the system always been like you need to adapt your game for Stephen Curry. Like I'm not sure if Kuminga can set those screens and do those boomerang passes what Draymond does. So he's got to do willing. He's got to willing to adjust his game for him to fit that Warriors system.
That'd be interesting for me if Draymond is gonna be willing to come off the bench.
if he can check his ego
Diba?
at the door. The problem is he's been averaging a triple single for the past 7 seasons. So it's about time na talaga.
about time,
Actually,
man.
it's long overdue. 7 seasons, triple single.
on now.
My goodness.
Baka nga mamaya, kung hinayaan niyang, sige, Kuminga, you get the spotlight, and Kuminga fails. So kung mamaya, ang sunod na masapak ni Draymond, si Jonathan Kuminga na, di ba? Tingnan natin. Again, a lot of instability there for the Warriors. So,
Draymond Green went from we're going to win an NBA championship to I got outplayed by Julius Randle.
Yeah.
So that's the latest on Draymond Green. All right, that's our fast break. When we continue the show, pag-uusapan natin ang Eastern Conference second round and of course, a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals right here on the Pinoy Step Podcast.
Halftime break? Not really. This is your chance to lock in. You know, every athlete has one thing in common. Di nila kinaya ng mag-isa. So if you're cheering from home or on the go, ipakita mo ang suporta by visiting arenaplus.ph kasi bawat fan may impact. Catch the games live for free at arenaplus.ph.
Every champion has a story. And behind every success, there's a journey.
Alam mo yung feeling na parang gusto mong sumuko pero lumalaban ka pa rin?
Dahil sa support system, sa passion, at syempre sa sariling determinasyon. Lahat tayo may kwento. And here, we share ours with you.
PB&J is all about the struggles, the wins, and the journey in between. PB&J. Peanut Butter and Jella. Brought to you by Arena Plus Sportsbook. Sama-sama sa arena.
You're still with us here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Anton Rojas, Migs Gomez, and our special guest for today, Javi Gomez Deliano, breaking it all down. Now, before we preview etong bakbakan, a throwback matchup between the Indiana Pacers and the New York Knicks, let's do a little recap of what happened in the second round just to tie up loose ends here. It's just sad na these playoffs were defined by major injuries. The Achilles injury of Jason Tatum, and then of course Cleveland, number 1 team in the East, decimated by injuries. When these things happen, Javi, do you put an asterisk on the success of teams?
Personally, I don't think so, because in basketball, it really comes like survival of the fittest, you know. The team that stays injury-free the whole time wins. So even though, let's say you're the upper team, but you know, if injuries happen, like it's really part of it. So like I mean, I hope like the teams that win don't get discredited just because like Tatum got injured. Like, I feel like, I mean, even before he was playing, Knicks were already winning.
But take us through the perspective of a player.
Yeah.
Sabihin natin ikaw yung Knicks. Or sige, let's do something more realistic. Throwback tayo sa UP days mo. Sabihin natin UP Fighting Maroon ka pa, tapos nasa Final Four ka. Ganyan. Sino mo nakakalaban mo sa Final Four nun?
Adamson and USD.
Okay, Adamson. Doon tayo sa 81.
81.
Yan, very emotional series yun eh. Sabihin natin napilayan nun si Sean Manganti. And you defeated Adamson. Like, hypothetically speaking, knowing that Manganti was down, would you actually feel na parang bitin yung series na yun, or di kaya we didn't prove ourselves too much kasi nga alam mo na kulang yung Adamson, star player pa?
Well, I think a win is a win. I don't think, like, of course, like they're underhand, but you know, our mindset, if that happens, like we'll just capitalize off the injured player since they're not there. And you know, Sean he's a great player, you know, so it'll make my job easier, because I think if that happens, he'll be the one guarding me, you know. So I think once you win that game,
hindi mo na maiisip
yung parang bitin ba, or
okay. So that answers our questions.
Have you mentioned UST? Was this the Renzo Subido shot over Bright Akweti?
Yeah.
Sorry to bring up that memory to the UP fans, but the flashbacks came.
Actually, dumating sa Facebook memories ko yung
oh my gosh,
shot ni Subido for some reason. Last night lang, so I remembered it. And yeah, that's heartbreaking. Watching it again last night, we were up by 4 the last 1 minute and 30. And, you know, just seeing it all, it's really a disaster. What could have been? You know?
Yeah.
What happens these days when you bump into Renzo Subido?
Ay, naku, mayabang yun. Joke lang, Nabi Renzo.
Wala naman, good vibes lang.
Good vibes, yeah. Just competition.
Yeah.
Wala na trash talk ngayon.
Wala na.
Tagal na masyado.
Yeah, tagal na masyado.
Yung Cleveland Migs, isa ring sayang nakupunan kasi, you know, ang hirap-hirap na maging number 1 every year in the conference. Cleveland looked like they were going to cruise all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals, and then tinamaan sila ng mga injuries. Darius Garland goes down with a toe. Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year. And then, Donovan Mitchell. Grabe yung minalas ng Cleveland dito sa playoffs na to.
I was about to think, is this the curse of Donovan Mitchell? Diba? Yung bringing a team onto that number one seed from Utah onto Cleveland and then falling short in the playoffs. Of course, this year, it's different because ang daming injuries eh. Ako rin, to be honest with you, I'm kind of shaky with the Pacers because the 2 series that they won were against incomplete teams. Diba? The Bucks and then the Cavs. Kaya mamaya, pag pinag-usapan natin yung Pacers, medyo may asterisk din yan for me. But for Cleveland, I mean, you have all the reason to run it back next year, diba? Evan Mobley supposedly on the rise. You have the reigning coach of the year. So maybe it's just gonna be about time for Donovan Mitchell to actually reach the finals. Tingnan natin. This year, sige, pwede natin pagbigyan. Maraming napilayan. Even DeAndre Hunter got injured for 1 game. So let's see.
All right. Let's move on and preview this very exciting Eastern Conference Finals. Bakbakan to. We go back to the days of Reggie Miller doing the choke to Spike Lee, Patrick Ewing, Larry Johnson, Grandmama. Grabe. Indiana versus New York. Nobody saw this coming kasi everyone here on the show had Boston coming out of the East. Yet here we are. This is going to be a slugfest. But Migs Gomez, why are you saying na hindi ka believe dito sa Indiana? State your case.
Okay, let me clear it out. It's not like I want to discredit them for their success. Medyo shaky lang ako. Kasi ngayon, as much as we're saying that they're a different team in 2025 compared to 2024. Kasi, breakdown ko lang noong 2024, in the first 3 months of the season, their record was 16-18. That's a losing record. Okay? In 2025, from January up until today, the record is 42 wins and 16 losses. Okay? 42 wins and 16 losses. Ang pace niyan is having a 60-win team. Ganun sila ka-successful in 2025. I do not know what type of Noche Buena itong si Tyrese Haliburton had. That he just changed, became a different creature in this year. But he also elevated his numbers and he elevated Indiana as a team. So yes, yan yung credit na ibibigay ko sa kanila. But then again, now comes the test of having a complete New York squad. Walang pilay dyan as of now. As of now.
My God.
In New York.
Please, no more injuries.
It's always also interesting kasi nga short rotation din sila. Alam mong nabubugbog yung stars nila. But then again, everything seems to be gelling right now for New York. So, if you ask me, I'm still gonna give the advantage to the Knicks. But I'm not gonna say that it's gonna be a short series. I have enough respect for Indiana to say that I think this is going 7 games.
Who do you like in this series, Indiana or New York?
I'm for New York this series, but at the same time, like what Mig said, I think it's gonna lead to game 6 or 7. And I think matchup wise, pantay sila.
Yeah.
They got the tools. Although Indiana uses more bench. So maybe that can be an advantage to them. And, hopefully no one gets injured in the Knicks. Because he said, notoriously, Tom Thibodeau, like having a short rotation.
Yeah.
And personally, I'm surprised that no one has gotten injured from their team, like up to this point.
Ako rin.
With the minutes they're playing, no?
And with injuries being a theme in the playoffs.
Yes. And that minutes has been since the beginning of the season. Sila Hart, sila Bridges, play 40 up minutes a game, and really believe ako sa conditioning nila.
Yeah. We got to talk about your one of your favorite players though, si Karl Anthony Towns. Na-mention ni Anton before the series versus the Celtics started, he wanted him to dominate down low. To
stay
post
in the
up
paint.
More, ganyan, stay in the
Quit
paint.
shooting threes.
And in fairness kay Karl Anthony Towns, nakinig siya kay Anton Rojas. Nakikinig siya sa Pinoy Step Podcast
Dumo-double-double
I want to get your take there because yung 3-point attempts niya, in fairness, nag-lower naman in these playoffs.
Yeah, I think he realized then he's got that advantage in the post, like what Anton said. And this year, he's a great double-double machine compared to he's always been a double-double machine, but I think last season, especially when he was playing for Minnesota, I think he fell in love too much with the threes. So
Gobert kasi siya eh.
Yes,
he rebounder siya eh.
So that kind of decreased in his rebounds, but this year playing mostly at that starting 5, that really made him really crash the boards and using his inside game. He's skilled. I think he's next to Jokic. I think the second best skilled big man.
Okay. Including Giannis sa conversation na yun?
Oh no, I'm talking about
center.
Big, forward. Giannis more of a forward for me.
Okay. Joel Embiid.
Oh, if he's healthy, I guess Joel Embiid.
Which is almost never.
Almost never healthy. But na-mention ni Javi yung depth. Okay, that is such a big thing in these playoffs. Nakita natin nag-take effect yan sa OKC versus Denver.
Yep.
Diba? The depth thing. And you have 8 players averaging close to 9 points a game at least for the Pacers. You have a complete rotation with Obi Toppin, Benedict Mathurin, and TJ McConnell off the bench. So may guard forward and big man ka. Kompleto na yun for the Pacers. That's why to me, sobrang laking factor si Deuce McBride dito sa series na to. Kasi siya yung bench. Siya yung bench scoring ng New York. And he only averaged 4 points per game in the first round. Naging 8 points per game in the second round against the Celtics. But in the regular season, it was close to 10 points per game. So, kailangan, if you ask me, mas makatulong siya in that department because, yun yung magiging yung magiging advantage ng Pacers. Even though I believe that the New York Knicks have a better starting five compared to the Indiana Pacers. What's your take here?
So you guys are both saying that it's gonna be a long series and you're picking New York. Ganun din yung perception ko. Yun din yung tingin ko mangyayari. But instead of Karl Anthony Towns having to play in the post, para sa akin, he has to utilize his shooting in this series.
Okay.
Tingin ko, kailangan magsabay si Mitchell Robinson at si Karl Anthony Towns to use their size against Indiana because Indiana has size. They've got Pascal Siakam and they have Miles Turner. Yung Siakam, tumitira din sa labas. So they need to match that. Alam mo, yung Indiana, napansin ko watching it closely, itong series ng Denver at OKC, Indiana is OKC light.
Okay.
They are similar to OKC in which they have young players who stick to the offense like mayonnaise on sisig and try to steal the ball and run the fast break. You're gonna need defense to run back. Mga safety ang kailangan dyan. So, I feel like New York has to have somebody like Mitchell Robinson, Karl Anthony Towns sprinting back, protect the rim. Kasi yung mga Energizer Bunnies nila, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson, kaya nila makipagsabayan sa bilis ng Indiana. So, I feel like the Knicks have more talent, but it's gonna be a matter of adjustments here in this series.
Ako, as a fan, I want to see the head-to-head head-to-head starting five matchup. So yes, there will be times na 4 si Karl Anthony Towns, 5 si Mitchell Robinson, but I want to see the Miles Turner versus Karl Anthony Towns. I want to see the Pascal Siakam versus his former teammate OG Anunoby matchup. Yung mga ganong klase, di ba? I want to see Jalen Brunson have a showdown with Tyrese Haliburton.
The WWE showdown. Haliburton and Brunson.
Ganda nito. And even Andrew Nembhard in these playoffs has been performing. I don't know why, but in the regular season, his 3-point shooting percentage was 29%. And in the playoffs, nasa 50% siya. May mga ganun ba talaga? Do you know players like that na relax lang sa regular season? Pagdating ng playoffs, biglang nag-elevate yung shooting nila.
Well, I think that happens a lot, and I guess like those players realize that they need to step up to help their team win. So, whatever Nembhard did to get his shooting up, big props to him. He's been playing well, I think, averaging more than 15. So, he'll also be big this season. I mean, this matchup in the finals.
Ikaw ba? Dahil shooter ka. Shooter si Javi, di ba? I remember him making big shots in the UAAP. Do you actually change your shooting routine, your regimen, kapag playoffs na, kapag Final Four? Pareho lang.
Yeah, just the same. I guess, I think factors to consider is like, I guess, the confidence level. Where I think the coach might have given him confidence to shoot better and just confidence with your shot.
Okay. Alam mo, one last thing before we move on to the West, what Haliburton and Nembhard are, yun dapat si Curry tsaka si Poole. Kasi alam mo yun, yung may magpapalit sa'yo, tapos quality pa rin. Unlike sa Denver, pag umupo si Murray, wala na Walang quality point guard. So, that's why he had to play 40 minutes per game. So
it was supposed to be Russell Westbrook.
I know, man, but Russell Westbrook just comes in and bleeps things up. So, I
feel your pain, man.
Pero, going back, yung combination ng 2 point guards, para sa akin, itong sa Pacers, if anything, yun yung magiging isa sa mga advantage nila against New York. Because Nembhard is such a quality backup to Tyrese Haliburton, who, by the way, is also clutch. Grabe yung clutchness ni Tyrese Haliburton. I mean, Jalen Brunson is the clutch player of the year, but there is no better matchup in the NBA in terms of clutch players than these two right now. Kaya sobrang exciting etong Eastern Conference Finals natin.
I think it's gonna be box office.
Yeah.
Ang ganda nung mga pinag-uusapan nga ngayon na balik tayo sa 90s, John Starks, Patrick Ewing, then you have Reggie Miller. I just hope it lives up to it. I hope nobody gets injured kasi ang ganda na eh. Ang ganda na even though we expected Boston and Cleveland to be there, for New York and Indiana to actually be at the Eastern Conference Finals, I think it's helping the NBA as well.
Yeah.
Diba?
And I think it will also help the NBA. I'm sorry about this, Migs, for what I'm about to say, because I want to see a New York Minnesota Finals.
Oh, I'm gonna
with the storylines. With the storylines. Yung trade that I first said I didn't like the trade, but now it looks like, you know, one of the greatest trades in NBA history where two teams benefited with the exchange.
Okay, since you brought it up, I wanted to bring this up kapag pag pinag-usapan natin Minnesota eh. Pero I just want to get your reaction to this, Anton and Javi.
Sige.
I have a conspiracy theory. Okay? Since puno naman na tayo ng conspiracy theory in the NBA. If you're gonna look at it at a business perspective for the National Basketball Association, all season long, we've been painting this picture, this conversation na face of the NBA. Diba? That's in order for them to sell more. Kailangan mo ng player na i-build up. And the NBA, of course, ideally, it's gonna be an American because it's the National Basketball Association. So we've been building up this conversation for Anthony Edwards because of his character. Diba? Sa Olympics pa lang, sa NBA, just how he talks to people. Nakakatuwa. He's media savvy. Okay siya sa media. And then, you think about the team perspective. Sa team perspective kasi, medyo set in stone na yan eh. Kasi meron kang mga franchises who are worth a lot more already compared to the others. So, yung mga top teams dyan are Golden State, New York, Los Angeles Lakers, then you have Chicago, you have Boston, the Clippers in that mix. That being said, having New York versus Minnesota in the finals, I think, is what the NBA would want because that would sell the most. You have Anthony Edwards, who potentially could be the face of the NBA, versus New York, one of the biggest markets in all of sports nowadays. So could it be, could it be somewhat twisted that way? Will the calls be different in the conference finals to make that happen? I don't know, but what can you say about that?
It's a good take, but it makes sense. I also feel that they're shifting into making Anthony Edwards the face, but hopefully I hope games and the calls will be as fair as possible, and may the best team win heading into the finals.
Last week, Christian Luanzon broached the idea of the NBA draft lottery being rigged.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do that for 2 episodes in a row saying dinoktor ng NBA yung mga pangyayari. Let's just move on to our discussion in the Western Conference with what happened in the second round and of course a preview of the Western Conference Finals right here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Pinoy Step Podcast is brought to you by Arena Plus Network, your ultimate fast break to NBA action. Stay updated with the latest takes by subscribing to the Arena Plus Network and Pinoy Step Podcast YouTube channel. Listen and rate us on Spotify and Apple Podcast. Your support is like a perfect assist. It helps keep the show going. Sama-sama sa Arena. You're still watching/listening to the Pinoy Step Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. We drop episodes every Thursday. Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your podcasts. So we are here, Anton Rojas, Migs Gomez with Javi Gomez de Leaño para pag-usapan itong Western Conference. And let's start off with the reason why I'm wearing the shades all throughout this episode today because I stayed up. Alam naman natin ang buhay NBA fan dito sa Pilipinas, time zones, 3:30 a.m. po ang tip-off ng Game 7, OKC versus Denver. Yung picks namin ni Migs Gomez. I was really excited for this game and I was also confident that Denver would be able to pull it off. But what happened? Pagkagising ko, pagtingin ko sa phone, grade 2 hamstring strain for Aaron Gordon. But he miraculously found a way to play.
Yeah.
And they were up by 11. So I was thinking, 21-10, nako, mukhang kakayanin ng Denver. And then, here comes OKC, the sticky defense, creating turnovers. At the end of the game, 39 points off turnovers ang naitala ng OKC. And I saw the blueprint for the future. The NBA is not going to be a jump shooting league anymore. It's going to be a league that's all about defense and running the break. And that's what OKC is showing right now. They're the future. And ako, as one of the guys who believe in experience and was banking on the old dogs, I have finally accepted. Tinanggap ko na po na the NBA is a young man's league.
Yeah.
And it's owned by the likes of OKC. Kaya again, props to Mix Gomez for picking OKC. Pero syempre, mabigat yung kanilang susunod na makakalaban itong Minnesota. We'll talk about that in a bit. But I just want to give before I throw it to you guys, I just want to give my reasons kung bakit natalo yung Denver. Okay? I picked Denver, pero nakita ko rin yung mga reasons kung bakit sila natalo. The Denver Nuggets have many Pinoy basketball tendencies. Number one, kahit saan basketball court ka pumunta dito sa Pilipinas, more often than not, ano yung depensa ng mga players on the court? 2-3 zone.
Yeah.
The Denver Nuggets have been banking on this 2-3 zone all throughout this series. Ano nangyari? Tinirahan sila sa labas ng OKC. The point guard would drive and lob it up to the 7-footer, Chet Holmgren. Walang nagawa. Si Nikola Jokic. Number 2, mainitin ang ulo. Number 3, reklamador. Si Jokic, konting tapik lang. Nagrereklamo sa mga referee. And number 4, the worst habit of Pinoy basketball players. Pag naaagawan, hindi na nagsisprint back on defense. Those are the top 4 reasons why Denver lost. And I'm so heartbroken right now. Wala akong tulog. I stayed up for that beatdown. Guys, the floor is yours.
You know, I, with those 4 reasons, it all made me return to one thing. Pagod sila. Pagod sila against OKC.
Pagod na rin ako.
Ito sinasabi nating depth factor eh. OKC will just pressure them. They will run them to the ground, and that's what happened in this series. Jokic, you mentioned in your last episode, yung assists niya, hindi ganun mataas. Yun na ngayon nangyari.
Wala nakaka-shoot eh. Bigay mo kay MPJ, baldog.
Oy, yung shoulder niya, pilay. Si Gordon, in Game 7, hamstring. First quarter, kahit paano, kinaya pa. Pero in second quarter, nakita mo, naglilimp na siya.
Westbrook
pa rin. And then you have Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray struggled in Game 7. His shooting was not good. I mean, the second best player of Denver was Christian Brown.
Yeah.
Diba? That's not good if you're the Nuggets. The 2-3 zone, I think that's kind of a way of buying time for them to rest. Feeling ko ganun na yung naging solusyon nila against the Thunder because OKC played small. They were pressuring. They were getting steals here and there. The second quarter was basically the story of the game. Putting Caruso on Jokic and them getting steals against Jokic. I think he had 5 turnovers the entire game. So, I think na-kick in na lang talaga yung sinasabi natin from the start of the series that is what OKC can do. I'm not sure if they just stored it up until the end. Ito na yung last ace namin. But then again, we knew that they had that all along. And it just was effective. What do you think?
Well, for me, like what you guys said, I think a factor was also I expected a lot from MPJ and Westbrook as well. They were supposed to, like MPJ supposed to be the third guy, or the fourth guy, and then Westbrook, I think he was supposed to be the guy on the bench to really lift them. And when the starters were gonna take a break, but they sadly underperformed. So, MPJ has been struggling the whole series. Also, Westbrook, they kind of figured out just to let him open. Yeah. It's sad to see. Like, he was getting the opportunity. Westbrook. He was getting a lot of minutes this series, like 20, 25. Yeah. But I guess, people are getting older. And I guess like for Westbrook moving forward, he has to change his game. Like, you know, how Vince Carter fell in love with the threes later on in his career. You know, for him to, if he still wants to like have a role and a decent big role in a team in the future. Like,
kailangan niya tayo ikaw yung maging shooting coach ni Russell Westbrook in the off-season eh. Kasi ang hirap, you know, for a player to last long, like Vince Carter, you're gonna rely less on your athletic ability and more of your shooting. Eh, yun nga yung wala si Westbrook eh. So is it actually the end of, you know, high expectations for Westbrook in his career?
Well, I think definitely yes, the end of the high expectations. But you know, he could still revolve his game if he wants to. But we know that, like, is he that kind of player who would like?
Wala na nga talaga.
At meron ding nag-leak na balita na sinabi na ni Aaron Gordon na Westbrook is so immature.
Oh,
and that really destroyed the locker room vibe. And they had to ride it out all the way until the end. You know what, guys? I was thinking nung Game 7 when I was watching this game early morning. Westbrook, for all his greatness, I mean, this is a guy who was one of the most explosive point guards in NBA history, a league MVP, averaged a triple-double twice in his NBA career. And then to lose in OKC, the team that made him popular, and get outplayed by SGA, who is now being talked about as potentially better than Russell Westbrook when it's all said and done. It's just sad. Like what Javi said, nakakalungkot that this is what happened to Russell Westbrook. Because when the trade first went down, I thought this is his legit chance to finally win a championship. But it turns out it looks like he's Shaq ring chasing at the end of his career. And he was getting the Ben Simmons treatment. Sagging off, daring him to shoot. He was able to hit one. Nagyabang siya sa crowd. But after that, wala na. He was only able to hit one more three after that.
Hirap dun.
So to answer your question, yeah, it's sad end. Like, ang hirap sabihin, ang hirap tanggapin. But sadly, this is the end of high-level basketball for Russell Westbrook. Can he change his game? Can he stand in the corner and knock down threes?
Yeah.
I think there's still time. The one good thing about Russell Westbrook is he never misses games and the energy on defense is always there. Pero yung pagiging matampuhin, blaming teammates, nakita ko kanina si Julian Strother, pinasa kay Westbrook. Ayaw saluhin ni Westbrook yung bola. Tapos nagalit pa siya kay Julian Strother. So the body language is just not right. You know, he's also one of those players who has to humble himself and check his ego at the door. Kasi sa ngayon, based on his comments at the media, may signs of immaturity pa rin eh. Yung sinasabi niya, this is the Russell Westbrook experience. I can change the game. I'm a force of nature. I could change the game with a made three, maybe even a missed three. What? A mystery? Come on, man.
I mean, change the game with a mystery.
Yeah, I mean, you can really change the game for the worst. So, I mean, it's very sad, but I'd like to remember the great days of Russell Westbrook. It's just sad that it has come to this.
That's right. Ako, ideally, kasi may love din naman ako for Russell Westbrook. You know, napanood din naman natin yung MVP days niya. If there's a way for him to just recognize na iba na siya, and you know, complement that with him possibly ending his career in OKC, I think that's going to be poetic for him. Maybe that could be the justice for his career na just end on a good note. And in the place where people love you.
Man, if he goes back to OKC and wins a ring, Russell Westbrook will have the greatest ring chasing story in NBA history.
At least he'll have a ring.
The end justifies the means. Okay, let's talk about this guy from Minnesota that Migs mentioned is being talked about worldwide as the face of the NBA. Kahit sinabi niya na I don't want it. But with the way he's playing, legit eh. No?
Diba? Lalo na kung manalo sila this season. Anthony Edwards, I think, has really found his groove with this core of Julius Randle with him, with DiVincenzo, with Naz Reid, with Gobert and everybody. Kasi kita mo rin in his stats na kapag nananalo sila, he averages 7-8 assists per game. They've only had 2 losses in this playoffs. And his average is 1 assist per game.
Oh my God.
Of those 2 losses. Which means, in the games where he's able to connect with his teammates, nananalo sila. And in fairness naman kay Anthony Edwards, help has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who would have expected Julius Randle to be playing like this from New York to Minnesota, and even from the season to the playoffs? Nag-jump yung kanyang scoring average from 19 to 24 points per game. And how about this? For Julius Randle to be shooting 50% from the field, 35% from 3, and 89% from the free throw line. That has to be impressive. Ikaw, shooter ka, Javi. 50, 35, 89. Mataas na yun, di ba?
That's elite numbers.
So what can you say? Masasabi mo ba that Julius Randle is, well primed up right now to help Anthony Edwards, or do you think Anthony Edwards has to unleash his, inner Jordan, inner Kobe mentality in order for them to beat OKC?
I think both has to happen. Well, to begin with Randle, he had a slow start in the season. A lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's a horrible trade," but I guess even Randle even proved a lot wrong. Even me, I kind of doubted at first, but no doubt, he still has that game, because he was the guy in New York before he got traded. And for Edwards, this is his time really to, kumbaga, he's almost there to being that guy. If he wins this series, I guess we could give him the name. All right, you're the face now of the NBA. I think he's that close.
Yeah, that's a good point. Even just making the finals, I think sobrang laking jump na yun for Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, the fact na ngayon pa lang, pinag-uusapan na siya as the face of the NBA. What more if he slays itong si SGA who's gonna be the MVP, pretty much.
He's gonna be the MVP.
He's gonna be the MVP. You've been saying it all throughout, and everybody's been saying it, even the commentators, sina Mike Breen, sina Doris Burke. But ito sabihin ko sa inyo, Anthony Edwards, grabe yung collection ng mga stars na tinalo niya. Lahat ng mga matatanda, all the old dogs, he's dusted them off. And then now, if he dusts off SGA, tama si Javi bigay na natin sa kanya, face of the NBA, even if he doesn't want it. Now, I'm assuming, Migs, na OKC pa rin.
Yeah, OKC pa rin ako.
Tatalunin pa rin ng OKC itong Minnesota. What about you, Javi? Who do you see coming out of this series in the West? Ayan. This is live footage of Javi Gomez de Leano wearing his analyst hat, being put on the spot.
My gut feels OKC too, but for some reason I like.
How many games?
7.
I got 7 also. I think it's gonna be long.
Wow.
I give that justice to Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. Even though, much like the Pacers, they beat the Lakers, na alangan. Alam naman natin, medyo alanganin yung roster construction nila. And a Warriors without Steph Curry. So, again, a lot of proving to be done here by Anthony Edwards and company, as well as Tyrese Haliburton and the Pacers. But I think they've proven enough, at least in the first 2 rounds, for us to at least expect na they have a good chance in this series.
So, since matigas ang ulo ko, I'm gonna go the opposite direction.
Let's go with the conspiracy theory.
Mag-Minnesota ako dito. Kasi nga, kumbaga, the perfect script is there for Mr. Anthony Edwards. Lahat ng mga bigatin sa NBA, tinalo mo na. The Currys, the LeBrons, the Jokic's, the KD's. You already slayed them. SGA, talunin mo yung New York. Di ba? And then you win your championship, your first championship at such a young age. You're goated right away. Di ba? It's a perfect script for the Ant-Man. It's his for the taking. Now, kinakabahan ako. Kasi magsisprint back ba si Mr. Rudy Gobert? Doon ako kinakabahan. Kasi pag nag-generate ng mga turnovers, ito OKC, who's gonna run back?
Right.
Old man Mike Conley Jr. is not gonna run back. Anthony Edwards, he can run back, but he's gonna expend so much energy on offense. So that's what I'm worried about, man. Because OKC, man, para sa akin, this is the new blueprint. And I hope the young kids watching all over the world will fall in love with the way they play defense. Kasi suffocating talaga, swarming defense yung pinakita ng OKC. And it was further emphasized in this Game 7 beatdown against Denver.
See, this is where the entirety of the Towns-Randle trade takes in effect. Because there's Dante DiVincenzo. And if you're worried about Mike Conley, you have DiVincenzo off the bench. You have Nickeil Alexander-Walker off the bench. If you're worried about Rudy Gobert, you have Naz Reid off the bench. Minnesota, I think, is complete enough to make it a nice series against OKC. Ito namang Thunder, we saw some concerns in the second round. Sabi nga ni Christian last week, dito sila nag-mature. Diba? Kasi the Grizzlies series did not come.
Yeah.
Come on, that was not a playoff series.
Sabi nga niya, dito sila kumukuha ng experience against Denver. And now I feel like in this Western Conference Finals, they now have something that they didn't have before, which is what makes them scarier.
You know what? Jalen Williams, I think, is one of those guys who really gained so much experience. Because in the first round against Memphis, his shooting was 48%. Toss a coin. Yun na yung parang statistical probability mo kung pasok o hindi yung tira ni J-Dub. But in the first 6 games, before the Game 7 versus Denver, his shooting was 33%. Sobrang laking binaba nun.
Yeah.
That made me think, maybe he's not ready for the moment. Jalen Williams, maybe he's not ready to support SGA, come the conference finals or the finals maybe. But Game 7, J-Dub, he showed up, Anton.
Yeah. He ended up being the second best player, the better second option.
Yeah.
Because it was between him and Jamal Murray.
Exactly.
Yep.
And he's going to have to do the same against Julius Randle, which I think is going to be a tall task. But I think it's doable, knowing the fact that he has their defense to bank on. He also has Chet Holmgren, who, as we know, also, he could be a good guy for them, scoring-wise and also with his defense. So, I think it's going to be tight. It's going to be good. But, for J-Dub as well to kind of guarantee his slot with the Thunder, they're going to have to win. Because if you ask me, the offseason is going to present such a big case for where Giannis is going to go. And I think Jalen Williams could be in trouble.
Wow.
With his stature in OKC if they lose. Kasi he's going to be a trade piece.
Yeah.
For Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So he's pretty much playing for his job.
Parang ganun. It could be him. It could be Chet Holmgren. It could be both. For all we know. But if you're OKC, then you gotta have to think about it. Giannis is Giannis. Giannis and SGA is going to be one heck of a duo. But then again, there are other great offers out there like Cooper Flag for Giannis Antetokounmpo. To me, that's also a good option for Milwaukee. It might be actually the best option for the Bucks right now. There are talks about Alperen Şengün being traded from the Rockets onto the Bucks. Okay din yun. Ang ganda nun. Then you have the Spurs. My Spurs getting the number 2 pick. You package Dylan Harper with, I don't know, Devin Vassell or whomever, and maybe get Giannis. It's going to be interesting. So if you're J-Dub, with all the talks about Giannis being traded, you'd want to secure your slot with OKC for the next years by playing well in these playoffs.
Grabe, no? Dylan Harper, pero may Chris Paul, pero may De'Aaron Fox.
And Stephon Castle.
That's
why I think there's a big chance that they could be selling Dylan Harper. I want to get your take about first of all, Dallas getting that number 1 pick. May masasabi ka ba dun?
Personally, I wouldn't want to believe in conspiracy theories, pero
take that, Christian Luanzon.
But for some reason, it kind of. I'm not surprised if a lot would believe like it's kind of rigged, but I feel like this is just really luck.
Yeah, a 1.8% chance is still a 1.8% chance. Diba? Mathematically speaking, posible pa rin naman talaga.
Posible physics. So, but yeah, I'm also surprised with the pick, but
You think he's gonna get traded though?
I can only think of a few players who worth trading for.
Mhm.
You said Giannis,
Yeah.
or aside from him, who else do you think they could trade him for?
Well, right now it's just Giannis. That's the conversation. Do you trade Cooper Flag for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Would you, Anton?
No, I would not
no.
do it. Because one of the biggest arguments that the people who did not like the Luka trade was that they mortgage their future.
Yeah.
Kasi inalis nila yung franchise player that you would have for the next decade.
Yeah.
In place of a win now team, you get Cooper Flag, you have a win now roster with a franchise player that
Yes.
you can have for the next decade.
Mhm.
That's why I think they're not going to screw up and make the same mistake twice. Okay?
You know, Nico Harrison is gonna get burned if he trades Cooper Flag again.
Don't do it.
And you know what? They actually have a good timeline for Cooper Flag's development because Kyrie is gonna be out
Yeah.
for a while. So maybe in those couple of months na option 1, option 2 si Cooper Flag with Anthony Davis who's also always out. Diba? Maybe he could develop his game and then all of them would prime up in the playoffs and they could actually go for the championship. So interesting. It.
What do you think Cooper Flag's ceiling is, Javi? Like, what kind of player do you envision him becoming?
That's what I'm still trying to figure out. But based on the videos we all saw when he was playing with the national team for the Olympics, like he was posting up Davis. He can play inside out. I don't know who to compare him right now, honestly, but
Did you actually see some similarities between you and Cooper Flag? Because of your size, your shooting ability?
no.
Walang ganun.
And Cooper Flag to begin with, he's 6'10",
Okay.
6'9", 6'10", so
But like the skill set.
Wala.
he's different.
Meron ako comparison kay Happy daw sa
Oh.
NBA. Hindi ko alam pero ako napansin ko to. Naglalaro ko ng 2K.
Okay.
Mahilig kasi ako mag-edit ng gears, ng shoes, ng shooting forms ng mga players sa 2K. And I was editing this guy. Sabi ko, ba't parang si Happy tong ine-edit ko? It's Franz Wagner. Have you ever thought about
Pwede, no? Yeah, pwede. May mga
see,
similarities, yeah.
sa mukha, as in magkamukha sila. I don't know. I see your face in Franz Wagner. Maybe sa 2K photo niya, I don't know. But I just saw it.
He's a
Wala pa
great
rin
player.
sabi sa'yo nun.
No.
Wala pa. Okay.
What is it on this show about the guy sitting on that chair giving lookalikes to the guy sitting in the middle? When Jordan Bartlett was here, sabi ni Christian Luanzon, I thought you were CB, Chris Banquero.
Chris Banquero.
And then nung patapos na yung show, dumanta sa bonus naman.
Yung
And
CB
now-
gets ko pa yung dumata si Day. Ito NBA yung comparison ko dito. Diretso agad.
All right.
Anyway.
So those were our picks and a preview of the Western Conference Finals. It's going to be a very interesting next 3 weeks as we approach what should be another historic NBA Finals. Sinabi ko nga sa simula ng show, for the 7th straight season, we're going to have a new NBA champion. Ganun ka-unpredictable at competitive ang NBA. The landscape is ever-changing and we're so happy to be able to talk about it Pinoy style here on the Pinoy Step Podcast.
Halftime break? Not really. This is your chance to lock in. You know, every athlete has one thing in common. None of their success happened alone. So if you're cheering from home or on the go, show your support by visiting arenaplus.ph. Because every fan matters and your energy helps drive the next big moment. Catch the games live for free at arenaplus.ph.
Napakasarap ng ating usapan dito sa episode 9 ng Pinoy Step Podcast with, of course, our special guest, Javi Gomez de Liano, who we also learned was for the Clippers. Kasi everybody who came here on the show gave their predictions as to which team they were rooting for. Clippers fan ka pala, Javi.
Yes, sir.
Bakit?
Obviously, aside from Harden and Kawhi, like till this day, I'm still a big Ben Simmons fan. We all know.
You're a believer.
What happened to his career?
Up to now, Ben Simmons fan pa rin.
I know a lot of people lost faith in him, but I guess I'm still one of those last few ones who still have faith in him.
Sarap kaya gamitin ni Ben Simmons sa 2K.
Tsaka bata pa si Ben Simmons eh. Diba? I mean, ano lang talaga. Ako, I also used to be a huge Ben Simmons fan. I have a Ben Simmons jersey which I ordered from the Philadelphia team store. But para sa akin, that Atlanta series really messed him up mentally, seemingly to the point of no return. But it's nice to see that Javi still has faith in a guy who was once touted as the next LeBron.
Yeah. I mean, crazy frame. He's what, 6'10"? Point guard.
Can do everything except shoot.
Diba? Pero yung, I mean, may hook shot siya. From the middle, kahit papano. Alam ko, may post-up pa ngayon. He could have been a good guy. And defensively, he's such an asset. Kaya akala ko, yung pagiging 4 niya sa Clippers would work eh.
Yeah.
Diba? Kasi you have Zubac, Simmons, Kawhi, Powell, and Harden. That's a 5. If they're all gonna, align and just do well all together. But they fell short one game against Denver. But if they can keep that core next year with Ty Lue, I think they could make a run for it.
Eto, Javi, before we close, the late, great Kobe Bryant once said that Ben Simmons needs to get himself a jumper to thrive in the NBA and become a superstar. Why do you think he never got a jumper?
Well, as a fan of Ben Simmons, I guess he was complacent with his game. His first 3 years were excellent. Rookie of the Year, All-Star right away. I guess because there are some players who are close-minded. Like they think they could, last in the league without getting better and just staying the same. So, like what Kobe said, he was just really one jump shot away from being. I thought he was gonna be like one of the face of the league.
Yeah,
one of the for me when he was in his prime years, I think he was the best point guard because he was also even compared to Magic Johnson. He was a true point.
Yeah.
He was a great pick and roll looking out for his teammates as well as playing defense. He really had it all except for that jump shot.
Eto tanong ko sa'yo, Javi. You're talking about evolution of one's game as you progress in your career. What's next in your game? What are you trying to improve?
Yeah, so Migs, actually, I've played all positions in my life. I started out as center. That was high school, forward. That was college. I was already transitioning to 3. That was here at KBL. I played more of a 2. So speaking of evolution, I want to be a better ball handler. To be
Pero hindi naman necessarily point guard.
No, not point guard.
Okay.
How do I say this? Like a second ball handler. But I know, especially in PBA, marami ng point guards pero like what si Coach John Del, his advice actually to me was, he said if I could give you advice going forward to your future, if you improve in your ball handling to the point of being because a lot of times in the game, let's say kung na-pressure yung point guard, they need
who's gonna help him out?
Yeah, that's why uso ngayon sa NBA, 2 guard lineups, Haliburton, Remard. So I also see that in my game, if I could add that, I think it would really help me and give me more asset.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah.
Rooting for
Best
you.
of luck, and we're happy to have had you here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Javi Gomez de Leaño, and we're looking forward. We're very excited for whatever step you decide to take on the next chapter of your basketball career. Again, Javi Gomez de Leaño. And on that note, we want to say that we wish that everybody who has problems or is feeling doubt, sana magkaroon kayo ng tiwala the same way, the same kind of faith that Javi Gomez de Leaño has for Ben Simmons.
What a closing note.
So with that, for Base Gomez and Javi Gomez de Leaño, I'm Anton Ross saying thank you so much for tuning in to what has been another exciting episode. We'll see you again next Thursday here on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Sama-sama sa arena.
Thanks for listening to today's exciting conversation on the Pinoy Step Podcast. Kung nararamdaman mo yung drive, yung passion, at yung hustle, huwag mo lang itago. Suportahan ang paborito mong teams by going to arenaplus.ph. Be part of every win and every milestone. Until the next episode, take care and keep cheering. See you at arenaplus.ph.
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast creators, hosts, and guests do not necessarily reflect the official policy and position of Arena Plus Sportsbook, the hosts of the program, or other programs of the network. Any content provided by the people on the podcast are of their own opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything.